It's mid-spring, May 9th. We had a very dry period. The winds came through, strong winds every single day. It's just been an unusual spring, very dry and windy. It has dried out the soil. So we're blessed to have rain finally, so it's like a celebration. The only problem is I've got a winter coat on. It's 50 degrees, but it feels like it's 40 degrees. It feels a lot colder because it is very, very damp out, and it's still raining, so I'm gonna grab an umbrella. All right, you don't have to spend a fortune to put out a garden, and this just naturally grows on its own. It's been growing here for several years now, and we did not plant it, so we don't know where it came from. I did have some where I lived previously before I married Danny, so it's possible somehow it got transported over here, and how I don't know how or why. Or this is stone crop, sedum stone crop, and it's a ground cover, and it's wonderful, it's beautiful, and it does bloom some little yellow flowers eventually later in, I think towards the summer, late spring, it will bloom little flowers. But I love this ground cover, and I'd much rather have this than grass. Grass is a problem, and we have a lot of grass, which I'm not fond of because you can't grow anything. I wanted that area back there to be covered with beautiful creeping thyme. I mean, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. I did not want that grass. See, that lamppost is completely out of place, and ideally, I'd love to have a little flower garden around that. The problem is people park back here, and Danny parks back here, and all winter long, the last 2 years, he had the station wagon parked right there where I planted that expensive, it was grown by seed, but it was very expensive, creeping thyme. So the creeping thyme died out. I was gonna plant wild flowers through here for the summer, in particular zinnias. Well, we decided not to do that. Instead, I have a garden right here that I tilled up. This is going to be gladiolas in the back, and I already planted some Sweet William to the side here. That's where the markers are. But in the middle is going to be zinnias, and then in the fall I'm going to put out some lupin seeds. Oh my goodness, oh, lupin is glorious. It's a wonderful perennial, and I'll show you a lupin in another garden over here. Right there's lupin. Now, isn't that gorgeous? I planted a pack of seeds that cost barely over $2, and that lupin took off, and it was worth it to me. But if I could get even more from one pack of seeds, that would be amazing. It has to be planted in the fall or very early spring, and comes up in the fall as a plant, and then it will, since it's a perennial, it will bloom next year. I just love the leaves. Oh, look at that. They're like star-like leaves, absolutely gorgeous. But the parsley came back. It's a biennial. It came back from last year. I'm so happy about that. And I use it all the time in my cooking, and it's pretty. Purple sage, absolutely love this. And it has gotten larger, and I put it right in the center of the garden. And it's like a celebration to me to see that it's doing better than anything else practically. I mean, the lavender always does well. It comes up and it has expanded and gotten larger. I didn't realize how large they can get, but this was a larger plant to begin with. But that was several years ago when I bought that, and that was well worth it. Speaking of lavender, I did make a purchase that's a little higher than I normally spend, but we got, with Danny's veterans discount, we got 10% off. And this is a lavender, and I spent $11 and $11.70. Yeah. Now the price was $12.99, and then we got 10% off. Yeah. So that was a good deal. It's a small one, but it will get larger too. But it was just nice to put in some more lavender. And occasionally I do buy plants, but mostly I grow by direct seed. That's how I save money. I don't spend very much money on the garden. You should always enjoy your garden and not worry about keeping up with the Joneses or anything like that. But you see that ground cover sedum stone crop has really taken off in this garden. This is a backup plan. So I can't guarantee that I can always get out here and keep up with everything that needs done. So it's nice to have that ground cover If anything's going to take over this garden, we don't want it to be crabgrass. We don't want it to be crabgrass. We don't want it to be undesirable weeds. But oh, this sedum stone crop is very lovely. And it just reminds me, and I do have some Irish, of maybe a garden in Ireland or something. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. But the Sweet William, this is a biennial also, and it does reseed. It is starting to come up, and it's looking gorgeous, and beautiful red flowers and pink and white combinations. I wish I had planted seeds last year. I did some reseeding, but it didn't quite work. I do a lot of tilling. I may have dug up some of that, but there should be more than this. So to ensure that, I did buy some seeds, and I planted them. I believe I planted some right here or right here, just in different areas, and right here for sure, in case this doesn't come back again. In case it doesn't reseed, I have a backup. I have a backup plan, because I do not like to go a year without Sweet William. Grape hyacinth. As you can see, it's seeded off. And I just leave this in the garden. I just like the look of it. You know, maybe it's rustic. Maybe it's, some people think it's shabby looking. I don't really care. But these are seeds, and they probably could be grown other places, and I could try that. There's lots of experiments you can do with the garden. Dry seeds out and replant for next year. Gardening, it's endless what you can do. I just love it. Yeah. A Dutch iris is going to be blooming soon. Looks like it's going to be a white one, but it could be a purple one, because sometimes they start out like they're going to be white, then they turn purple. And here's some more Dutch irises, all grouped together here, but they look like they're going to do fine. I'm hoping this comes up like a bouquet of Dutch irises, which will be amazing. I can show you two out front that are yellow and white. They got really tall. These do get pretty tall. Precipitation we had from the snow. The early spring flowers did very well. Now at first I had some problems with them, but then they just sprouted right up. This is not the case with the mid-spring garden. Yeah, and I'll show you what I grew over here. I'm trying to take this slow and not too fast so you can enjoy it. And I don't want to make people dizzy. The lettuce, usually it's twice as big or 3 times bigger than this by now. This is already May 9th, but the weather has stunted the growth of the lettuce that I grew from direct seed. It's coming up gradually. Yeah, slowly but surely, but it sure has taken its time. That's because of all the winds that came through, dried out the soil, and like I said, it did stunt the growth, which is shocking to me. So this has been the worst year for lettuce and spinach so far. As you can see, I do have some spinach plants coming up, and I just let them grow, let nature take its course. It's direct seed, and I already had the soil tilled here. I did lay down a little bit of topsoil, but it wasn't too much, wasn't necessary. So the expense as I till every year is getting lower and lower. I'm putting back compost into the garden from kitchen waste, you know, like from your kitchen scraps, your vegetable scraps, and that coffee grounds, eggshells, all of that does help. Or eventually maybe this will become a no-till garden, which is like back to Eden, which is what I would love to achieve. Now the garlic is doing great. It came up before anything else. I think I did see signs of it. Maybe around the time of the crocuses, I could see it sprouting up, and now look how large it is. Ready for harvest coming up in sometime in June, when the leaves at the top turn brown, then it will be ready for harvest. But I enjoy cooking with it. It just makes the food taste so good. Growing a garden on a budget is the best thing to do for me. I do not want to go overboard on buying plants from the nursery, but I did buy these broccoli plants. Got a good deal on them. Now I've got one that I grew. Is a starter plant. I grew it inside the house, and that was the first time I've done that. I tried it many years ago, and it didn't work out. Not vegetables, but flowers. And we're going back over 20, probably 30 years ago. And so I thought I'd give it a shot. Unfortunately, I planted this broccoli. It's from the nursery too, but I planted it too close to a potato. It had not bloomed yet. I didn't think it was going to come up. So I'm going to have to transplant this for sure. And I'll probably do it before the day's over. And I have some space over here. I'll probably plant it maybe right in the middle there. This is the potato garden. And at first I didn't think we were going to get any plants. They didn't seem to be doing very well, but now they're sprouting up. Now, believe it or not, a squirrel uncovered a potato and he ate it. Okay, he would come and munch on it every day, and I just left it there. So he'd come back and eat that. I'm like, well, at least he won't dig up another one if I just leave that there for him to eat. So I was trying to use psychology, and it worked, but there was enough potato left in the ground, maybe a little piece of potato, to produce a plant. So that may produce something. I don't know. It's very small. So, and these are yellow potatoes. Now we have cabbages over here. Now I did grow some I did a little, that's a direct seed, I believe. And then we had starter plants, and they're not doing too well. Yeah, but the cabbages from the nursery, which I got 6 of them, and not a bad deal. It was very economical. And we'll see how these do. See, the leaves are yellow at the bottom. That's because they've been under some stress because of the weather, dry soil conditions. And I did get out here and water quite often, but it evidently wasn't often enough. Yeah, the winds just dried the soil out. And I still can't get over it because I've never seen such a windy, I mean, we've had windy springs before, but every day being windy, this was just very unusual. But I think the cabbages are going to do all right. Yeah, hopefully it won't get hot too soon, because they like the cooler weather. And the rhubarb's doing really well. We'll be harvesting this soon, this large one here. And oh yeah, I'm looking forward to strawberry rhubarb pie, or just plain rhubarb pie. I like it. So does my husband. You sweeten it up enough and it's good. And here's 2 new rhubarbs, and I did purchase these. This was a splurge, but from Corms, which was a cheaper way to purchase it, because the plants, and they were organic and they were way too expensive. So these are doing real well, and I hope I planted them far enough apart. You're supposed to plant them quite a distance, and I just don't have the space in my garden to plant anything very far. Until we get more tilling done, we may have someone actually come out and do it. I really want a small tiller because there's so much I can do with it, and it really helps. Like this corn, this is where I always grow corn, and the grass, crabgrass, just takes over, and weeds, wild strawberry just takes over. And if I had a tiller, it'd be much easier to go through here instead of using a shovel, which is what I've been doing. And there's a shovel right there. It's a proof in the pudding. Yeah, I've been working out here like crazy. Glad to connect with you folks, especially if you like gardening, and I hope I inspire you in some way. This is down-to-earth gardening, probably the cheapest form of gardening you're going to get. But until I get back to Eden, it's just not cheap, as cheap as I'd like it to be, though. You know, I'd like it to hardly cost anything. But you see, what I'm working towards here. We want to come out further, much further, and hopefully that will be achieved in time for the summer garden to be put out with squashes, pumpkin, and corn. And okra towards the back, I think. Yeah. Now, I may grow something on the fence line. Cucumbers don't usually do well. I might try plants this year instead of direct seed. Now the sun's coming out, and I'm very happy about that, because you have the rain. It provides water for your garden, but you want sunlight too to help the plants grow. And that will be a blessing. I want to show you some flowers that I splurged on. With the discount, they were $17. I believe it was $17.59. It was a whole flat of sweet alyssum. To show you what I put out here, and they were so dry, I had to water them almost every day. But now the rain has helped them tremendously. Oh my goodness, it's doing so well. This is a blessing. I bought a whole flat of these, and it looks almost like a ground cover. They're very small flowers. Usually they're white. I have some white ones right here, but I love the purple ones. Purple's one of my favorite colors. This is the spring garden that we grow every year, and this year it did all right. We have a lot of grape hyacinth and some tulips and regular hyacinth and some daffodils. Yeah. but it didn't do as well as it has in previous years. So it's nice to see something going on here that looks kind of cute. This is where, and if you grow plants by seed, then you know what I'm talking about. If you grow flowers, vine flowers, this is morning glories. Yeah, we're going to have a bunch of morning glories coming up. I was concerned because I tilled through here and I thought maybe I think I did kill a bunch of them off, but they're going to come up on the fence line, which is much needed because this type of fence is very rustic. It's old, it's rusted. It will be very nice to see those morning glories taken off on the fence line. I hope you enjoyed this tour. And if you have a garden, I want to see it. And please comment so I can go into your channel and check it out. Thanks for watching today. I appreciate it. God bless each and every one of you. I'll see you on the next one.